Greetings, children of the screen, your friendly neighborhood nerd scum here, and today I would like to talk to you about Prison Break, the event series, or as it is sometimes known, Prison Break Season 5. Now, a little bit of a preface here. I am a fan of the series. I really enjoy Prison Break. I didn't watch it on TV when it originally aired, because at the time I just was not going to let the time and date that a TV show came on run my life. And that wasn't just for that show, it's for any show. I'm a trendsetter in that way. Now we all have the streaming services and everyone can live that way. When I started doing that, like, you were on your own, man. You just had to not watch stuff and then hopefully get the DVD later. But anyway, so when I moved to Austin, my roommates there got me really into it. I was really taken by the show. Like, it was interesting and it was really gripping. The way that they do the cliffhangers, really worked out really well in the first few seasons, and I was really interested or impressed by the way that every season seemed to be a slightly different show. The first season, obviously, is breaking out of the original prison. The second season is on the run after having broken out of the prison. The third season sees them return to a prison to break out, but it is a Panamanian prison, and the storytelling has been changed pretty drastically, and the stakes and the setting being changed really gives the show a totally different feel and vibe, and even the way that the show is shot, the cinematography for that season is very different. However, that season really suffers from the writer's strike, which happened around that time and ended making the season much shorter than it should have been. But then we have the fourth season, which is really about all these characters who many of them have been enemies throughout this series. They've all been played by the company, coming together to kind of fight the company, and even though a lot of people weren't happy with the way that the fourth season ended, I felt that it was satisfying, and I thought that it was a relatively satisfying closeout to the series. Well, the fans weren't happy, and the fans were very vocal, and they wanted more, so they gave us more in the form of the made-for-TV movie of Prison Break, which I can't recall the subtitle of at the moment because it sucks. It's not the worst thing. It's watchable, and if you just love Prison Break, it'll get your fix. But it was very underwhelming and kind of meaningless. And actually, the thing we'll be talking about today plays with that in a very interesting way. So, having said all that, I really do enjoy the original series. I think it holds up very well. I really enjoy watching it. And when I heard about the event series being announced, as much as I love Dominic Purcell and Wentworth Miller and that whole original cast, I was just like, man, the time is gone. It came and went. If you were gonna do this, you missed your window. I don't really know. I guess because Wentworth Miller and Dominic Purcell are really popular from being on Flash, doing Captain Cold and Heatwave. So they got a resurgence in the fan base, maybe. But honestly, I did not think it was going to be very good. I was wrong. It's dope. It's really dope. I really enjoyed it, guys. There's only 9 episodes, so you can power through it pretty easily. It's on Hulu, if you want to go watch it there. I know that also, at Walmart or something, it's $20-25 right now. I personally think that is worth it. I really enjoyed this series. All the characters that I wanted to come back came back, and were utilized to a reasonably decent extent. Some less than others, but I was still happy to see them show up. All the new cast members are freaking fantastic. They really go a long way to, lending credibility to the world that you're living in. Now, this series has never been one, they try to make things feel real, but realism isn't necessarily their goal. I've heard people refer to this as, the TV version of The Fast and the Furious, to which I'm not really, but, maybe, in terms of the sense of family, and, the fast pace, and, the idea of kind of every now and then throwing certain aspects of, plot and logic to the wind in order to, emphasize, an emotional or dramatic beat. In those ways, yes, there are similarities, but I really feel that the relationships in this show hold up a lot better because a lot of the actors are a lot better actors, and they've had more time in the individual episodes throughout the whole series to nurture those relationships, not to mention Wentworth Miller and Dominic Purcell. They have a really good rapport on screen. Again, they're in Flash as Captain Cold and Heatwave. They're fantastic in that. They're still fantastic in this. And the way they wrote the story for this really worked in terms of the whole series. Like, it felt very... The way that they were able to bring Michael Scofield back feels very in keeping with the tone and style of the series. And as I had mentioned before, they only refer to the made-for-TV movie in passing to let people know that, like, hey, that thing that happened that didn't make any frickin' sense. Well, the reason it didn't make any sense is because you only saw the surface level. You only saw what people wanted you to see, but there was a deeper game going on beneath the surface. And they don't really explore that a whole lot, I think mostly because they want people just to not think about that particular movie, but I found it interesting that that's how they tried to fill their logic gap that's there. However, having said all these great things, the cinematography is great as well, by the way. Having said all these great things, I will say that the show's not perfect. It definitely has some problems. There are some major plot holes that happen. Obviously, there's a lot of conveniences that line up for our characters. Just as many inconveniences, which, like, normally giving characters problems is fine, but there are certain times where, like, the problems stack up to a certain degree where it almost breaks your believability scale. There's this one character who gives them trouble all throughout this event series, and every time they encounter him, he should die, okay? They should kill him. I know they're the heroes of our show, and I feel like maybe the show was trying to make, like, some weird political statement by doing this, because we've seen these characters kill before, but, like, he's a character who's he's a rapist and a murderer, and, like, they should just kill him because he screws their plan up every turn, but they don't, and he continuously follows them throughout almost the entire series, and it was really freaking frustrating. That was the one thing about this that I could not stand, but everything else was pretty awesome. If you are a fan of the series Prison Break or of Wentworth Miller and Dominic Purcell, I definitely recommend this. Highly, highly recommended. If you've never seen Prison Break before, you could theoretically jump in and watch this event series on its own, and it is written and done in a way that it can make sense to you if you do that. But really, what I'd recommend is going on Hulu, or if it's still on Netflix, check it out on Netflix and go through and watch the seasons. When you're watching them one after another, you will power through them faster than you can imagine, and it would really, really make this final event season much more impactful for you. It's like the Serenity movie. If you've never seen Firefly, you can watch the Serenity movie, and it rocks, and you can really enjoy it. But if you've seen Firefly, that movie, just all the things in it mean so much more. And this event series was very similar to that. I think it's what they were trying to do with the X-Files event series, but just fell a little bit short because for the X-Files, you need different things to work. But anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on it. I really enjoyed this event series. It was really cool. I got a lot of pleasure out of it. Have you guys checked it out? Have you seen the series in general? Let me know down in the comments below. Right on, guys. If you like this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. If you aren't subscribed, then please subscribe to check out all the new content I'll have coming out. I hope you guys have a very nice night. Nerd Scum, out.